You're probably wondering, this sporty Mini doesn't really fit into this winter wonderland with snow and everything. And you'd be absolutely right. The reason we're here is because, well, the entire country is, well, just a big pile of rain. So we've decided to come here to have at least a little bit of nice weather, even though it's the bloody coldest December ever and we have to record in this. Anyway, if you watch our channel, you've probably seen that a couple of weeks ago we've been at BMW and they've been offering us to test the X3 and the other cars, which we did. But there was also a gentleman then from BMW who, well, is a little bit more important, and he said, what do you guys think about the Mini? Why doesn't it actually sell as much as it should in Slovenia? And, well, some people said the usual, well, you should lower the price, or you should sell it to a very specific group of people. But I think the problem here is a little more complex. So before we look at the car, let's go and look at the history of the Mini.
More specifically, let's look at which of the famous personalities owned a Mini in the past. For example, Gerald Harper, who drove his Mini S in the English series Adam Adamant Lives. Or Steve McQueen, who was friends with the race driver John Cooper. George Harrison gifted his Mini to Eric Clapton, who returned it later to its original owner. Even Ferrari's founder, Enzo Ferrari, was said to own more than one Mini, which he loved to drive around with.
So that's what I think is the problem. For example, in the past, people were looking up to rock stars and pop stars, or maybe some astronauts who got some Corvettes. So it was people like that that got really nice cars like this, and they then, showed the others that maybe you should get a car like this as well, because it's cool. Today, though, well, I don't think musicians are so important anymore. What the people like is bloggers, vloggers, stars like that, and YouTubers. A YouTuber like me, for example. I could get a car like that, couldn't I? Yeah. I mean, I only have couple thousand subscribers, but hey, put a little bit in and you get a lot out.
Okay, well, slowly does it, even though this Mini 7 isn't slow at all. So what is the 7? It's basically a special version in honor of the old Austin 7. That means it offers some special exterior colors, interior upholstery combinations, has 17-inch alloys as standard, and sports the word 7. The test model was equipped with a fair bit of extra stuff, like the double sunroof, for example, or heated leather seats, an infotainment system with navigation, and automatic gearbox. The 7 is thus not a whole lot different from the regular Cooper. Still, the car looks pretty chic all the same. The instruments are a throwback to the Mini's past, but they also include a small color display for more information. The bigger infotainment screen is nice, while all the buttons are in Mini style. If you like listening to music while in the car, you can select the optional Harman Kardon for a better audio reproduction. One of the most important things in a Mini is how it corners. I have to say, it's still a brilliant little rocket go-kart, so you'd think it's not going to be too comfortable for everyday driving.
First of all, I have to apologize about my general appearance, but it's so cold outside. I don't really care what I look like, and I'm not fashionable anyway. My fingers are freezing. I've got everything on, heated seats, heater on, everything. Ah, furnace, please. Anyway, I want to talk about this car. It is the 7, the Cooper S. This is the John Cooper Works version, which means that it's got a fair bit of horsepower, and it's quite a lot of fun to drive. It's just a shame we get it now in December when it's, well, obviously rainy, snowy, slippery, and not quite the, the test I would like to have with a car like this. But anyway, let's forget that, yes, it's powerful, yes, it's fast, yes, it's very fun, especially the sound when you put it into sport mode and you hear that lovely exhaust note. But let's concentrate on two other things. One is price, and the other one is quality. Now, yes, the Mini is not exactly what you would call a cheap car, as far as price goes. You're not going to say, oh, I'm going to take two of them. Yes, of course, they're so cheap. Lovely. But how many people buy a small, cheap car and then take the base version without any extra equipment? Not a lot. So people will buy a small car and then put a lot of extra equipment in it. So that car is not really going to be as cheap as originally thought. And the Mini is a different breed. It's not very cheap at all. It's quite expensive, but you get so much quality for that. I mean, the more I drive this car, the more I'm thinking, wow, the feeling of the steering wheel, the switches, the gear shifter, everything just gives you an air of quality. It's got a nice mechanical feel to it. A click here, a click there. It's lovely. And also, I have to say, despite the fact that this is a sporty car and it's got a fairly stiff suspension, it's extremely comfortable for some reason. I'm not really sure why, but it must be these seats and the suspension at the same time. The more I drive it, the more I'm thinking, why am I so comfortable? I don't know, but it is. So, the next time you're thinking about buying something small but high quality and fun, think about the Mini. It is true, you'll have to pay a bit more for it though.
How much? The 7S starts at 24,000 euros, the John Cooper Works at 33,000 euros, while the latter with all the extras comes up to almost 50,000 euros. You don't need to be famous to own a Mini, you just need to like cars.